Take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, close your eyes. That's it. As you breathe in a feeling of resourceful relaxation, and as you exhale, get a sense that tension, stress, or worries are leaving your body in that outward breath. So as you breathe in and breathe out, feel that you're feeling more resourceful and exhaling any tension, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed with each and every breath. On the next inward breath in, breathe in slightly longer than you normally would, and as you exhale, slowly extend the exhale to breathe out more than you normally would. And the deeper you breathe, the more deeply relaxed you go. As your body relaxes, your imagination becomes awakened. And memories are just one form of your imagination, enabling you to access powerful, resourceful states. And I want you to recall a beautiful temple. Imagine not just that the temple is there, but you are where the temple is. Imagine you can see not just the temple, but the surrounding gardens, the landscape. You can feel the temperature, the humidity, any sounds around you. Imagine that you're back there in the moment, in awe not just of the temple, but the statues that surround you. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, but feel like you're breathing in the air there, in that moment, now. I want you to imagine just for a moment that temporarily you're turning into a hummingbird, able to fly above that temple, look around the statues, see it from all different angles that you would normally not have seen, and then return back into your body and decide to walk into that temple. I want you to find a place in the temple, a place where you can meditate, relax, just be left with your own thoughts. But before you, within your imagination, close your eyes again, I want you to look at the beauty of the architecture in this temple. The colors, the gold, the white. If you notice any smells, pay attention to those smells. If there's any sounds, pay attention to those sounds. And then imagine that you're putting your body in whichever position is best to meditate and be left with your own thoughts. Imagine that you're in that position, in that temple, with your eyes closed, focusing on your breathing, going in and going out. Getting a sense that within your own imagination, you're going deeper and deeper, relaxed. And meditation is a lot like hypnosis, that time takes on a new meaning, going faster or slower than reality. You forget that you're even in your own body, as your mind can drift off to different places, different times. And within your own imagination, I want you to imagine what it would be like to create a force field. Perhaps you imagine it as almost like a giant bubble to protect you. But this force field has the objective of not eliminating negativity, but diluting negativity. So if someone was hurling abuse at you, less than 5% of the emotion connected to those insults would actually make its way through the force field, enabling you to be composed, to evaluate perhaps the words, but maybe the reason why someone is saying those. Some people are easily triggered, and the more emotive the word, the more likely it is that people are trying to influence or manipulate you by pushing your buttons. This force field enables you to disconnect the wires on those buttons, that you observe what's happening, giving you time to figure out the motive, the reasoning, or the emotional state of the provider of those words. Words are one thing, actions are another. This force field inoculates you, filters out 90 or 95% of any of these potential negative intentions. In this temple, there is at least one statue of Buddha, and on one occasion, Buddha was approached by an abusive man, hurling the worst insults at Buddha. But Buddha was unfazed by those words. All the worst, most vile things were hurled at Buddha. But the Buddha simply asked the man, if someone was to give a gift and it not be accepted by the recipient, to whom does the gift belong? And this man that was throwing all of the abuse said, well, if nobody received the gift, it would belong to whoever attempted to give the gift. And the Buddha smiled, because he knew that all of those vile words still belonged to the person that had attempted to give them to the Buddha, but he had not accepted them. This force field enables you to decide which words and which actions you're willing to take, to receive, and anything that you do not receive is still owned by the person that attempted to deliver those words or actions. Nice words, nice intentions will pass through the force field unfiltered, giving you 100% of compliments and kind words and positive intentions. But negative intentions, disrespect, abuse, passive aggression will be filtered out by 95%, leaving you with a choice to evaluate the motive behind them, or to simply allow them to bounce back to the giver. I want you to imagine you are starting work in a new role. But I want you to imagine you start that new role with a spirit of enthusiasm, positivity, an expectation that things are going to be good. Why would anyone start something new with an expectation of bad things happening? Expectations are a bit like trust. Isn't it better to be trustful of people unless they give you a reason to not trust them? Doesn't it make sense to have high hopes and high expectations of new opportunities and new potential relationships and friendships until people give you a reason not to? Imagine turning up at work that first day with these optimistic, enthusiastic, positive expectations, and feel that you are protected by a force field that filters out negative intentions or actions or words. And then imagine that something that may have happened in a different place happens in this new place, and notice that it doesn't feel so bad. It feels like you can handle it. More importantly, because you're not flustered or stressed or feeling attacked, you're able to have an attitude of curiosity. If someone attempts something that's passive-aggressive or rude, with a friendly smile, you could just say, "I'm curious. When you did that, what did you mean by that?" And you might be surprised to find that there was a positive intention after all, but if there was a negative intention, because you've had a consequence of that negative intention, you're establishing powerful, beneficial new boundaries to set the tone for what you'll tolerate and what's okay. For you in a workplace, it's important that you know what you need to do, but then you're given the freedom to get on and do it. For you, it's important that you need to know that you're making a difference. For you, it's important that you're respected, and that the value that you add to wherever you work is acknowledged or appreciated. And I want you to accept the suggestion that if any of these things aren't there in sufficient quantities, it isn't a case that someone else wouldn't want you to work there. It's that you wouldn't want to work there. Why would you want to work anywhere that you're not respected or appreciated? That you're not given the tools to do your job in the way that you want to make the biggest possible difference? And if you're willing to accept that you don't want to work anywhere that you're not respected and appreciated and given the tools to do your job, just let me know by nodding your head. Employment is just another form of a relationship. It's a two-way street. A codependent relationship isn't good romantically. It's also not good in a workplace. There are many people that do jobs they hate just to pay the bills. The people that really enjoy doing what they do it because their values are being met. It facilitates them to live their life in a way that they want to. It empowers them to do more than without that role. And as Buddha said, when you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. But how can you love what you do if you're not respected? How can you love what you do if you're not appreciated or acknowledged? How can you love what you do if obstacles are being placed in the way of you creating the most value? Whatever you tolerate, you will get more of. You are raising your standards as to what you are willing to tolerate. You will have the energy of someone self-assured, confident, and full of self-belief. You know that you create value, and other people will respond to that sense of certainty you have about yourself. You will operate like you're already self-employed. You just happen to be on the payroll. You have the attitude that you are a consultant being paid like a freelancer to do this work because it empowers you to feel like you're self-employed rather than an employee. And self-employed decide which jobs they take on and which ones they don't. They set the boundaries as to what's okay and what isn't. You are unlocking you at your most confident, you at your most self-assured, you at your most resourceful and responsible. And because you know you have value, you're not willing to stay anywhere that doesn't recognize that value. This confidence may ruffle a few feathers, but you want to be working around people that are inspired, not intimidated by someone that works hard and creates value. You want to work around those people that inspire you. If you saw someone doing amazing things, that may inspire you to raise your game, to learn new things, to create even more value. Therefore, small politics are best suited with those with small minds, small ambitions. Do you really want to work somewhere with small-minded people with no dreams or vision or goals? Employment is a two-way street. It's as much your choice to stay somewhere and it is anyone else's to have you keep working there. And anything other than mutually beneficial is not for you. Your force field protects you from negativity, but letting just enough through so you can read intentions, motives, and actions, and you will act accordingly. You allow the good stuff in, but keep out the majority of the bad stuff. Just like sunglasses protects 95% of ultraviolet radiation, but still allows a bit of sunshine in. Your force field will protect against most of the negativity, but just allow enough in for you to know what's going on and make decisions accordingly. And that ability to set boundaries and to know your worth goes way beyond your workplace. It goes into your family life, your friendship group, even how you treat yourself. Your words will be kinder to yourself, more encouraging, more supportive, because anything that you would not tolerate from someone else, you're now not willing to tolerate from your own inner dialogue. If it's not helping, it's hurting. If you accept this suggestion, let me know by nodding your head. And when you raise your standards and unlock your resourceful states, you find that people respond to not who you are, but how you are. And when you arrive to work feeling confident, people treat you with more respect. When you turn up self-assured, they treat you in a different way. When you look for those small digs or power plays and you mirror them back with a spirit of playfulness and curiosity, you're subtly establishing a guideline of how it's okay to treat you. And in doing so, you open a doorway of more positive, enjoyable moments in every area of your life. It's now time to return to that temple feeling like you're back in your body. I want you to get a sense that it feels that things have changed. Old beliefs about needing to be liked have been replaced with raised standards about what you're willing to accept. You've unlocked powerful, resourceful states. And one of the most important is optimism and an air of positive expectation. I want you to imagine getting up out of that temple, walking around, but feeling lighter on your feet, feeling that you're able to walk a bit taller, that you feel more confident and self-assured in your own body. Now we're going to test this force field. I want you to imagine someone is around that temple that looks a lot like someone that you used to work with. Or perhaps a family member that you know. And I want you to imagine that you're in the grounds of this beautiful temple, surrounded by this force field. And I want you to imagine things that used to push your buttons and trigger you, trigger your insecurities, trigger your fears, trigger your low self-worth. They're attempting to say the same things or do the same things. But notice that this time it doesn't work. It feels different. It feels like you can handle it. Feel confident and self-assured and curious as you casually ask, what's your intention behind that? And look at that worried look on their face as they realize that you're mirroring back their own behavior and they don't like it. You're able to be confident and self-assured, able to establish new boundaries as to how it's okay to be treated. Take that empowered feeling, keep it within you, and then find that you're back in your own body, firmly in the present, listening to my voice. In a few moments' time, I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, full of confidence, and full of self-worth, knowing that you're raising your standards and you're raising your expectations for how you will treat others, but also how you are willing to be treated by others. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.